See, your Pittsburgh Steelers, they were just dealt an unusual advantage, a really sneaky advantage that's kind of running under the radar. Here at Sports Talk Steelers, I like to get these underserved stories out there to you guys come running into this divisional matchup against the Cleveland Browns. And also, this team is helping themselves by bringing in a sneaky practice squad addition to aid them, a little bit of gamesmanship coming into this game. And also, we have a player that has a special insight into the Cleveland Browns' number one offensive player coming into this game. So lots to cover here. Let's first start with this little edge over the Browns this week, and it was provided by the NFL. I mean, most fans, they expect the Pittsburgh Steelers to pick up the win in this one-sided rivalry, typically with the Cleveland Browns, but it's not just history that might skew our view of this game. It's a scheduling quirk by the NFL. So kind of what this is, the Cleveland Browns have been set up to do something that only one team in NFL history has ever been asked to do. It's just a weird scheduling quirk. This might be a mistake by the NFL to play a game stateside in the United States against a team coming off its bye week, and also just 1 week after the original team was playing overseas themselves. So this is more travel, limited rest, and also having an extra rested rival. And on top of this, this is a divisional game, an absolutely must-win game by the Cleveland Browns. And the NFL did them absolutely no problems, no favors whatsoever. And you guys as Pittsburgh Steelers fans, you can see the light of what I've been talking about several weeks of you guys actually being 5-1 to start the season. This scheduling quirk just helps you out just a little bit more. So let's when was the last and only time that this has happened before? And we don't have to go back too far. We go back to 2021. That's when the Miami Dolphins, they had to face the Falcons coming off a Week 6 bye, and that's after having played in London the week prior. And Miami ended up losing to Atlanta 30-28 on a last-second field goal. So this really did them no favors whatsoever. And Cleveland also, they carry one further disadvantage in this scenario that even Miami didn't have. The Browns are actually playing on the road on top of that. Like the Dolphins at least played at home, but yeah, the Browns are forced to do this on the road. And this was originally brought forth online. This story caught my eye, and I just really wanted to get this out to you guys. This is super interesting, and as Pittsburgh Steelers fans, you guys will take every advantage that you can get. So now, the Steelers were on a bye last week after their trip to Dublin, and the Vikings, they're actually on a bye this week after playing the last two games in Europe. So really, I mean, the Steelers are essentially getting a reward or evening out, so there's not any advantage by getting this bye week. The Minnesota Vikings are experiencing the same things, but the Browns, hey, we're not going to feel bad for the Browns, right? The NFL actually made it harder for the Browns and leave it to Cleveland. On top of that, they're going to start a rookie quarterback. They thought trading Joe Flacco to a division rival was actually going to help them. Now they've got Dylan Gabriel starting at quarterback against your Pittsburgh Steelers with really just, I don't know if you could say jerk face, but really just a guy at second string with Shedeur Sanders. He's not going to be helpful. He's already chirping at the media big time. This is just not a good spot to be in as if you were the Cleveland Browns. And let's take advantage of this, right? Now let's look at another advantage that your Pittsburgh Steelers have found. And this is like a sneaky signing of a former Cleveland Browns defender. This is gamesmanship. This isn't unique, but a lot of teams do this. And this is not only getting an effective player on the practice squad to help them prepare, but the timing is not coincidental. I look at this as absolutely on purpose to get insider intel on the Cleveland Browns. So many little sneaky advantages, and these little advantages, they add up to W's, right? So we're kind of looking at this practice squad of the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've been constantly reshuffling the deck to get the right mix, to get an advantage. And the the Pittsburgh Steelers just lost a guy to the Las Vegas Raiders, but now a familiar face is brought onto the practice squad. So the guy that I'm talking about is edge rusher KJ Henry. He came in for the workout, and the organization is keeping him around. You might see him on the practice squad for just 1 week. And this is crazy because you're looking at this guy. His best NFL season to date was in 2023 as a rookie, and over his career, he's accumulated 22 total tackles, 2.5 sacks, but he appeared in 10 games with the Commanders in 2023. He had 19 tackles and 1.5 sacks. Now, since then, he's spent time with the Commanders, of course. Now the Steelers, also the Dallas Cowboys, but really, I want to focus on his time with the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns. He's been around for a little bit because we have the Cincinnati Bengals coming right up as well. So I don't think he's going to make an impact on the Pittsburgh Steelers 53-man roster, but this doesn't mean he's not providing value. It's no coincidence that he's been added just before the Browns. I'm just going to kind of get to it because you're why this player has bounced around, but his most recent preseason in Cleveland, just this preseason, he performed really well. He actually had a highlight when he intercepted Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Dorian Thompson-Robinson. He returned it for a score, so he does have some skill, but Mike Tomlin, they know that he had a long run with the team before being a final roster cut. Now he has a chance to actually punish the team that released him. The Steelers are likely going to deploy him heavily on their scout team in these practices leading up to the game. They've been doing it this week, and this is just to gain any edge possible on the Cleveland Browns. So let's look at a final sneaky advantage. Let's keep with a theme. And Jack Sawyer, he is sharing a Steelers secret to stopping his former teammate. And this is the Cleveland Browns' best player. I'm talking about Quinshon Judkins. Guess what? Jack Sawyer, he has been scouting Quinshon Judkins because they won a national title together with the Buckeyes, the Ohio State Buckeyes. And Will Howard's also on the team, but he has some things to say about Quinshon Judkins and scouting him to give the Steelers yet another example. Quinshon, you know he's explosive. He's big. He's physical. He runs hard. And, I think the key is to keep him contained as much as we can. Well, I could have told you that. But when you're facing a good player, you're just trying to slow him down as much as you can in any way possible. And you're looking at him, he's run for 347 yards, 2 touchdowns on 72 carries, with Judkins' best performance coming on a tight 21-17 loss to the Minnesota Vikings last week. He went for 110 yards on 23 rushing attempts. And Jack Sawyer, the team is talking about that he has some insider insight on how to contain him, how to stop him. And let's look if this Pittsburgh Steelers defense is up to the test. I just think it's yet again just another sneaky advantage that the Steelers have coming into this game. And I think it's going to be a victory against the Cleveland Browns. I think they're going to go away running against the Cleveland Browns. But you have to have this offense on point. Definitely the defense has to play on their heads because Cleveland, they've been hard to score against. They have been one of the best defenses in the NFL. The Pittsburgh Steelers aren't taking this lightly, but these advantages are what matters between W's and L's. You guys let me know in the comments what you think about this. If you think this insider information on Judkins is going to be effective at all, I think it's the lesser of the 3 advantages. But if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. It would be a huge blessing to me and my family, and I can continue doing this. You've been awesome. I'll continue to be here on a daily basis, giving like an outsider's non-fan view of your favorite team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Thanks, you guys, and we'll talk soon.